campaign to ban all replica weapons and air pistols. Over 70% of the weapons used within armed criminality within the black community are replica weapons, and these are weapons that can be bought on London High Street and converted within a matter of minutes. Our view is that these remain the major threat to the black community. The Mayor's has launched a campaign to ban replica weapons, and that campaign is gaining enormous support from communities right around London. We've got to put pressure on the government to get them to see our view, which is these replica weapons result in a constant threat to the safety of Londoners.
Well, it's hard to say because, I mean, we have seen an increasing number of Trident shootings this year, but murders overall have come down. But when you start to look at this, when you really start to look at the networks between these various groups, some of it is organised crime, some of it is completely disorganised, some of it is around some disrespect shown in a club. Someone treads on someone else's foot and they get shot. We've had disrespect shown at a funeral recently and someone got shot after the funeral. You know, these are really difficult things for us to try and deal with. It's the presence of guns on the street, the importation of guns, the conversion of weapons here as well. All of that makes it a much more dangerous place for us and young people in London.
You know, nobody wants any violence of any kind like that to be happening on the street. Obviously, you know, when it comes to black on black, you know, it's hitting the black community even worse. You know, it's you know, I don't know what, you know, and how we can change that, because you're going to always have good and bad. You know what I mean? We just have to try and educate the younger kids. That's not the correct route to, you know, to get involved in this modern day and age, you know. A lot of people may say there's so many different reasons for why it happens. It could be because, you know, frustration, no work. You know, it could be related to drugs, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, what I will say, you know, the guns must be coming from somebody. It must be coming in somewhere. You know, I know that I don't know any black manufacturer of guns. You know what I mean? I don't know any black suppliers of guns. You know what I mean? So there must be a route where it's coming into the community, and I think the police, you know, and the community should be working very hard and you know at trying to find out, you know, how and why the firearms is coming in. You know, obviously it'll make a big difference.
How this has been done is through Operation Trident Independent Advisory Group, and I'm the chair of that, and we work hard to build up relationships between local communities and their local police services in order that we can tackle what has been the growing menace of gun crime within the community. The way we do that is community conferences, invest in community initiatives, build partnerships, working at a grassroots level on large council estates in very many parts of London. A whole menu of tactics really designed to build confidence, build working relationships, and we've seen the success of that in recent years. When I first started the campaign in '96, the detection rate for these killings was 12%. It currently is at 125%. And so we've seen that confidence build, and we've seen the effects come through in greater levels of convictions. At the end of the day, in relation to armed criminality, there is no shortage of information in relation to the police. The police have all the information, which is why they are tackling increased gun crime, why they're getting better convictions. There is a notion that is often portrayed as some mythical wall of silence. There isn't a wall of silence, there's a lack of trust, which is different from a wall of silence. Yeah, people give information to the police. It's whether they trust them to do anything proper once they give them the information. That still remains a critical question.
A lot of black groups out there still are not, for reason, still not in a position to trust the police, because the police have no respect for a black youth stroke black person. You know, they were an institution that had a certain way to deal with black people, you know, and part of that way of dealing with black people was disrespect. You know, and the dialogue that we had, not only with here but with other areas, you know, was not very good. You know, and so a lot of people didn't want to meet with the police, and it was like, you could say over the years, like a running battle on the street, because you know, the kids, they always went on the defensive when they saw the police, because they thought, yeah, the police is going to, they see us, they're going to do something. Well, it's not against the law to walk on the street.
I remember I was watching this program on telly the other day, and this wasn't just about black people, it was about, in fact, it was mostly white people, and they all lived in this flat. Oh, I can't remember what program I was watching. They all lived in this flat. But anyway, what they're saying, and these were like little boys as young as 10, and what they're saying is, they go around in gangs. It's a gang, something about gang warfare, right? And when they get hurt and get beaten up, they don't ever go to the police. And it's for various reasons. One, it's the fear, because you go and you grass on someone, you get beaten up, you probably even get killed after, you know what I mean? And not only that, the police probably come round and write little bits in their book, and then that's it, nothing comes of it, because as far as they're concerned, it's either domestic, like I mean, I've heard that myself, yeah, oh, it's domestic, we don't want to know, sort of thing, or, you know, they say, oh yeah, we're investigating, and then nothing ever happens. So it could be both. It could be both. But for black people, I mean, I myself, to be honest, if I witness a crime, I probably wouldn't say anything myself. Very difficult, fam, because when you think about it, it could be one of your own, you know, and you'd have wanted somebody to you know, give a statement or to help or something, but I think it's just a breakdown of the law. Sometimes you think there's no law anymore.
I think they don't cooperate the police simply because of the grief they get from the police themselves, to the point where they think, well, I'm not gonna work with the police, because they'll only victimize me. They'll only, you know, want to bang me up for something, get their records mixed up, and suddenly I went in as a witness giving an account of an event, and next thing I'm being charged for it. You know, they don't want to get caught up in anything to do with the police, because there's the respect of police for the black community is very minimal, especially police who are assigned to watch over the black community, because for a start, an officer in a uniform looking at the ordinary black citizen has already judged that person. Just by being there, judge that person, right, what are you up to? We're watching you, we're watching your neighborhood. In other words, we're expecting you to be doing something wrong. That's why we are here. So obviously the black person is not going to respect, you know, not going to want to work with a police officer who thinks in that way.
Go to Tottenham, for example, or you go to Brixton, for example. How many black people sitting in a police panda car watching people on Saturday afternoons on a Brixton High Street? No, not one. You probably, every panda car you see, a couple of guys sitting in it are all white people looking down on the black people. And there is something which that kind of image says. You are under surveillance. You are under control. We tell you what to do. We tell you what to do. We can nick you whenever we want. Now, if you have a community like the black people down there, and then you provide a black police, things might begin to even out. The tension might begin to come down. So many times, you are using the oppressor. I put this word in quote because I don't actually believe that the police oppress the black community. But that is what is being seen. That's how the black community see it. You know, that they're being hounded, they're being oppressed, they're being chased around, they're being nicked for nothing's sake. So those are the kind of things that is why, even for example now, you might have a crime, a black man would see somebody that committed that crime, they wouldn't tell the police. Because when the police actually get down to investigating those crimes, the figures they got they will use it to do something else instead of actually to solve the actual crime they came for. So it's really the word there is trust.